What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Juiced Up Jobbers. Today it's just me, myself, and I, actually Guzman 1017. As I posted on my TikTok earlier, I did really want to deep dive into this whole rivalry between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, but I also want to apologize for procrastinating because this was supposed to be done, I want to say 2 hours earlier, but I kept deep diving and deep diving, and I got a whole bunch of screenshots and stuff. I could have got more, but I didn't want to keep pushing this whole podcast, so. I just want to thank everybody who had the patience to come here. I see that there's 12 people in here now. So I want to thank you guys for having the patience with me to let me just prepare for this and get ready because, a lot of people want to say I don't like Liv Morgan or, I'm not on TikTok, so I can say this. A lot of people say I hate Liv Morgan, and that's not the case. That's not the case. I see there's 14 people here. Appreciate all y'all. Everybody drop yourselves in the comments. Let's get this started. But again, a lot of people think I hate Liv Morgan, but if that were the case, I wouldn't be here talking about this rivalry right now. That is basically the top rivalry on Raw. Honestly, it's neck and neck with the CM Punk stuff because I feel like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins thing should have went another way. But if that's something you guys want to hear later on, drop that in the comments, and I'll drop a video on what I think should happen between Seth, Drew, and CM Punk. What's good, Jody? Yeet. John, Yeet. T-Rail, Yeet. All right, guys. So let's talk about the reason why we're here. As it says, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, the rivalry, the story of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. This goes way back than what we're seeing right now. As you guys know, this especially if you're a Liv Morgan fan and especially if you're a Rhea Ripley fan, you know this rivalry goes way back than what is going on right now this year and what happened last year. So I just want to get into that in deep dive right now. We all remember this, right? We all remember this. All Liv Morgan fans, Rhea Ripley fans, we all remember this moment. This is when both fan bases felt like each superstar should have been in the world title scene, but at the time, WWE had them in the tag team scene. And as we know, I'd say they were pretty dominant, for what the tag team division was at around that time. And down the line, they win a match that gets them a match at WrestleMania in that triple threat match. And we all know who the winner was with that. It was Sasha Banks and Naomi winning the tag team titles. And that began the downfall of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. The fact that, they got to Mania, they couldn't do it, so on and so forth. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, it starts crumbling down. I was waiting for this episode. Yes, Jody. Yes, sir. As far as I remember, guys, if I get anything incorrect as well, I don't care about getting criticized. I don't care about being corrected. If I say something and if I stumble on something, you got correct me if you guys want. I as long as you're respectful about this, I could care less. I want to get this right as much as you guys want me to get every detail correct. So as I was saying, we all know that was the downfall of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. And let me just get the screenshot because for some reason, even though I adjusted all the screenshots correctly, it still didn't go into the order that I wanted it to, which is really, really irritating. And now I'm trying to see if they even saved all the screenshots. I don't think they did. And StreamYard did me filthy. All right, but we all know what happened, correct? Let me see. No. We all know what happened, correct? We all know that was the downfall of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, and that's when Rhea Ripley turned on Liv Morgan. And if I'm pretty sure during those times nothing really happened, they separated from each other and everything, and then, along came this faction that Edge created, and it was called what was it? The Day of Judgment, the Day of Night. No, the Judgment Day. And lo and behold, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley found themselves against each other again. And this time, somebody else was involved as well that is in the current Judgment Day. And that was this little situation. First, let me give this moment a little applause because that was back when, I thought they weren't going to do nothing with Liv Morgan after Rhea Ripley did turn on her. And then she did insert herself into the storyline against the Judgment Day that already started with AJ Styles and Finn Balor. As I said before, Hell in a Cell, where it was Liv Morgan, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor versus the Judgment Day consisting of Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest. Now, we'll deep dive into this later, but I just want to try to quick recap the whole thing about Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Then we'll get into the Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Dominik, and then we'll get into why I feel like Finn Balor has been the one that's going to be teaming up with Liv Morgan and turn on the Judgment Day. So as I was saying, the Liv Morgan storyline, we all know She injures her down the line again. They meet up. Again, I wish StreamYard worked with me with these screenshots because I prolonged the freaking stream to make sure I got all these screenshots, and for some reason they didn't save them all, and it's kind of irritating. But let me get into this. I got you. Clap, clap. When Rhea said Liv attacked her from behind like a coward, like Rhea didn't do it not once but twice. Listen, it is true. It is true. But there was that one time, you know. But as I said, down the line, you know, Liv Morgan actually had a real shoulder injury, and Rhea Ripley was the one to take her out. Liv Morgan's gone for a couple of times. Let me try to get back to the screenshots. StreamYard, I don't know if you have a limit or something, but you should definitely not have a limit if that's the case, because I really took the time to get everything in detail, everything. And no, of course, you do not have. I apologize, guys, because again, I took a lot of time away from doing this when I was supposed to do it earlier due to the screenshots, and yet StreamYard did me filthy and did not update this. But anywho, where were we? Rhea Ripley injuring Liv Morgan, and Rhea Ripley becoming who she is today. Mommy. And of course, along the line, we know she got Dominik, the Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, in comes JD McDonough, so on and so forth. Let's fast forward to when Liv Morgan returned. Because those screenshots are here because I can see that right there. As we all know, Liv Morgan returned at the Royal Rumble, and her main focus was her revenge toward getting to Rhea Ripley. And she came up short in the Rumble. She came up short at the Elimination Chamber. She had absolutely nothing to do at WrestleMania. And it was really looking like Liv Morgan was never going to possibly get that Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan moment. I personally feel like it was due to personal issues. I won't get into that because we're just here for the booking situation, but that is part of it. But eventually, eventually, Liv Morgan actually does what she needs to do. Whether people think it was storyline, whether people think Liv Morgan actually injured her and she is the reason why Rhea Ripley had to vacate the title, or that Rhea was already injured, regardless of the fact, we all know this moment right here. We all know this moment. Rhea Ripley walking down the hallway. Rhea Ripley looking, bapped in the head with a chair. Liv Morgan's right there. And we all know that this situation led to Rhea Ripley relinquishing the Women's World Championship. And this is when I personally feel like the Liv Morgan revenge tour actually began. This is when it actually started. Again. Whether it was storyline and Rhea was already injured prior, or if Liv Morgan is the reason that she did get injured, none of that matters right here. But that is when the Liv Morgan revenge tour started. Let me get into these comments real quick just to see what everybody's talking about. Don't forget JD, because JD is not leaving his mentor. Listen, I'm going to get to that. That's part of the reasoning of why I feel like Finn is the one that's going to turn and not Dominik. Don't worry, I'll get into that. Trust me, I ain't forgetting that. That's the main reason we here. I think Dominik should turn on Rhea because it would be a next step in his WWE career, because Dom, as of now, isn't benefiting anything being with Rhea. I personally don't agree, because right now Dom is as over as he is due to the relationship and the stuff he has going on with the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley. If not, he would still be Dominik's son. Dominik's son. How can he be his own son? He would still be Rey Mysterio's son, and that's all he would be as of right now. My fear is what's going to happen after Dominik's done with all of this. What is he going to do at that point? Hey, it was good. And yeet. I love how everybody's putting yeet every time they drop in. Shout out to all the 21 of you guys who are still here. Just want to interact with the comments as I'm going on. What's good? What's good, everybody? All right. So as I was saying, this was the moment right here. This was the moment. Matter of fact, I did miss a moment. I'm not going to lie, because StreamYard actually didn't do me filthy. Before we had this, we had this little interaction. I know a lot of you guys remember this. This is when Liv Morgan literally said, I'm going to take everything from you. And we later found out that everything didn't just mean the Women's World Championship, it also meant Dominik Mysterio. And again, that is part of the reason why we are here. This man said no yeet. I mean, we got some no yeets. All right, Jimmy Uso. Yes, sir. But as I was saying, we see that she really was talking about Dominik Mysterio as well. And we all know how this has been going, guys. We know the situation here. We know how we were all invested in the backstage segments of how all the pictures Liv Morgan was posting. There were little subliminals, as this one in front of us, that in her pocket was the purple bandana worn by Dominik Mysterio. And then, of course, StreamYard did me filthy with other pictures that did not upload. We had those moments where Liv Morgan exited a room and Dominik exited out of that same room. And then, oh my God, I. We all know what. Yeah, we all know. She was grinding on it. She rotated them hips, bruh. Oh my God. And as we see it today, Dominik and Liv Morgan. Dominik and Liv Morgan. We learned that the Revenge Tour had much more meaning than just the Women's World Championship. And that's where we are today. Because as we all know, Rhea Ripley returned. Oh, my bad. Rhea Ripley returned. Before we get on to the next chapter, let me see. Let's see. That's what I fear because after this Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley feud is done, what's next for Dominik? Hey, if that's something you want me to make a video out of, make a live, let me know, and I will have no issue doing that. What's good, Jody? Dom ain't doing nothing wrong. Listen, I ain't never say he did nothing wrong. I never say he did anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Dom's wife was punching the air. She did. I'm telling you, T-Webs. Yo, let's go back to it real quick. Where is that? She rotated them hips, bro. My apologies if y'all heard that, but gotta stay hydrated. Ain't promoted, ain't subscribed, ain't doing nothing like that. But y'all always gotta remember to drink that Prime. But yeah, bro, she was rotating on that thing, and I was shocked. I was like flabbergasted. Like wow. I got all hype once Rhea returned. Bro, these allegations on my boy Dom. Yeet, it should have been me. Yo, Jody, relax, relax. Just chilling, bro. Finn told Dom, go listen, we go get there. We gonna get there. Listen, we gonna get there. I'm telling you, we gonna get there. Trust and believe. Trust me, we gonna get there. So as I was saying, see now it's like I want to jump into the Finn stuff, but now I gotta keep. Rhea comes back. We all know what happened. At the end of that match, when Dominik finally got a pinfall victory over Rey Mysterio with the help of Liv Morgan, we were about to get almost close to an Edge and Lita live sex celebration, y'all. And what happens? Out comes Rhea Ripley. Dominik is shocked. Liv Morgan is shocked. Liv Morgan runs away. Rhea Ripley tries to chase her. She stops chasing Liv Morgan. Face to face with Dominik Mysterio. We go off the air. Oh, man. And when that happened, hold on. And Liv literally on his... Listen. I ain't saying nothing, but y'all seen it. I ain't saying nothing, but y'all seen it. I ain't saying nothing. Y'all saw it. I didn't. Zip. Nah, Dom was innocent. He had a lot of emotions pinning his father. Listen, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm gonna get into more stuff, y'all. I'm gonna keep so as we are, and I hope this one is saved too because I took a lot of time finding this screenshot. So when we get to that moment, it's there because when we get to that moment, I'm glad that screenshot's there. But as we all know, Rhea returns. Dominik tries to apologize. He's not trying to. So on and so forth. SummerSlam match, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. Recently, Dom just cussed out Liv Morgan in Spanish and everything. But now we're here for the reason. Now we get to that reason. Everybody swears up and down that Dominik Mysterio is going to be the one to turn on Rhea Ripley. And he's going to align himself with Liv Morgan. Me personally, I feel that the culprit is going to be Finn Balor. Now, there are some people who also think, I don't want anybody to think that I made this podcast thinking that I'm the only person who thinks Finn Balor is going to turn on. I'm just here to give you guys my reasoning of why I think it's Finn Balor that's going to turn on Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day and not Dominik. But before we get there, that's cool. Yeet in the sheets with Rhea. Hey, yo, what? What are we doing? Liv had her ass out. I know my boy Dom backstage was. Yeah, hey, yo, Kryptonite, you crazy, bro? You get. That's why Dom even pulled away from Liv a bit after she went to hug him because he realized he let his emotions get the best of him after he finally beat his father. I'm telling you. Now, let's get to that situation. Before we get to why Finn, I know I told you guys we were finally here, but before we get to why Finn, here's why I feel like Dominik isn't going to turn. Number one, reason number one, a phone works both ways. Damian Priest could always be like, oh, you should have called mommy. Have you been in contact? I get that Dominik did not do those things. But what prevented Rhea from doing the same? A phone works both ways. So why wasn't Rhea also contacting Dominik if that was an issue that she was having? Because obviously that discussion was having had between Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. So if Rhea Ripley had an issue about it, why didn't she try to reach out instead of going through the middle person in Damian Priest? So I feel like Dominik also was confused because he probably feels the same way I do. Why isn't she reaching out? Why do I have to be the one? If mommy's really upset, she should be reaching out to me as well. So while he's doing his business, he's doing his ish. Liv Morgan's in front of him, and Rhea Ripley's just chilling. Again, a phone works both ways. So he's just seeing the temptation in front of him, the PS5, the nuggies. And I know Dominik's a smart man because don't fall for a woman that gives you chicken nuggets with no sauce. That boy was eating dry nuggets. That's a red flag. But he was just almost just feeding into the temptations that was in front of him. Well, Rhea, what are you doing? Like you're seeing this because we just saw on Raw that she was noticing everything that Dominik was doing on social media. So why didn't you intervene not one time? Why didn't you say anything not one time? Because I feel, as everybody feels, because mommy is mommy. You know what I mean? But when it comes to Dom, he's still got a lot to learn. And that's when Damian Priest comes in too. I just feel like they understand that he's still young. That he needs to do things himself to try to learn from it and see if he makes the right decisions. And then if he doesn't make the right decisions, he has to deal with the repercussions, which is Rhea Ripley coming back and acting the way that she is, and Damian Priest laughing in his face when he should have listened to Damian Priest, even though I do feel that a phone works both ways, and Rhea should have called too. They weren't even dino nuggies. Chicken nuggets with no sauce should be a crime. Oh yeah, that's another thing, Jody, and HD TV too, because they had that little box TV that freaking R-Truth brought them. So they didn't even have nothing. Liv was doing all this for them. But I just feel like Dominik is just still young. He's still like, look at the temptation. He doesn't, because if he really wanted to, he could have been got with Liv so long ago. Many times. There was many times where he could have been with Liv. Many times. Yet he always resisted temptation. Until that moment when the emotions got the best of him because he finally beat his father. And yes, he did want to celebrate with Liv because it was because of Liv that it did happen. But he never fully wanted to be with Liv Morgan. He wants mommy. And now we're back to why I feel like Finn Balor is the one that's going to turn. Because as I said, at a point we were here. At a point, we were with Finn Balor being against the Judgment Day. And while he was against the Judgment Day, he was aligned with Liv Morgan. Yes, AJ Styles is there, but he's on SmackDown, so none of that matters. He was aligning himself with Liv Morgan while he was going up against the Judgment Day. And after that, we know what happened. They turned on Edge. Edge got injured. We don't even know what was really supposed to happen. That's the other thing. We don't really know. Anywho. Well, he didn't get injured. No, he got injured, then came back as a okay. See. This is when I got a reboot. They still turned on Edge, but then of course they replaced him with Finn Balor. But Finn wasn't the leader. It was definitely Rhea Ripley. But that's neither here nor there. So as I said, at a point we were here. Finn Balor and Liv Morgan as a team. And as I said, everybody was always, oh, the purple bandana. Oh, that's Dominik's. Oh, Dominik and Liv leaving out the same room. But what about the night that Liv Morgan and Finn Balor both got out the same car? What could have Liv Morgan and Finn Balor been talking about that they had to get out the same car? Now, as we see, Liv Morgan's crazy. She's playing this psycho-obsessed type of character that she's just in love with Dominik, that's her daddy Dom and everything. So everything we saw in the back could have been Dominik just doing his daily routine and Liv Morgan just popping out of the blue, just surprising him. Never being a meet-up situation where they're talking about ploying about turning on Rhea. But this? What necessary need did this have to... We go back to this. Again, originally, Finn Balor aligned himself with Liv Morgan, and they both were going up against the Judgment Day until the Judgment Day turned on Edge and replaced Edge with Finn Balor. Because Cody got injured. That's what it was. Because Cody got injured, because this was the Torn Pec pay-per-view, and they needed a babyface immediately, so the Judgment Day had to turn on Edge to then turn him babyface, insert Finn Balor. Boom! I remember now. Look at that. Ooh, I love the way my brain works, and I didn't even look at the comments. There's 10 comments I need to catch up to. But boom, there it was. That's what led Finn Balor to joining the Judgment Day. Cody Rhodes' pec injury. Edge had to turn into a babyface because their top babyface got injured. Insert Finn Balor. I'm going to get there eventually, y'all. I get there eventually. But as I was saying, Finn Balor, Liv Morgan, originally against the Judgment Day. Other than nothing, why did Liv Morgan and Finn Balor leave the same car? What could they have possibly been talking about? And then you can also lead into the certain faces that Finn Balor makes towards Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, as this most recent one when when Rhea Ripley told them not to worry about Jey Uso. And I understand why Finn would be upset, but this looks more of a scheming face. This looks more of a, I'm angry at you and I'm going to eventually get what I want, and that's revenge on you. Because Liv Morgan's my girl. Liv Morgan and Finn Balor are tight. Look at that face. And then look at what's on his shoulder. Because my thing is, if Liv Morgan was all about if Liv Morgan was all about Dominik Mysterio, yes, she did help Dominik finally beat his father. She finally helped Dominik beat his father, Rey Mysterio. But why didn't she get him a tag team match, but instead got Finn Balor and his best friend, his student, his brother, basically, JD McDonough, a tag team match? And because of Liv Morgan, Finn Balor and JD McDonough became the World Tag Team Champions. Which leads me back to this. There was never a reason for Liv Morgan and Finn Balor to be talking within the same vehicle. Liv Morgan and Dominik? Yes. Liv Morgan and Finn Balor? No. So again, she could have helped Dominik become a tag team champion, but for some reason, storyline-wise, just makes more sense that it's Finn Balor and JD, because JD and Finn Balor are so close. But deep down, so are Finn Balor and Liv Morgan. More than we even think. Because again, recent Raw situations have led us to see that as well. Because we were also here. We were also at the Judgment Day splitting up to go look for Jey Uso. And we got to this moment where Finn Balor stopped Dominik from going one way and told Dominik to go another, in which Dominik is faced by Liv Morgan. We all know what she had on. We all know the seductive thing she was doing. But Liv, listen. It would be more of a coincidence, a coinky dink, if Dominik was walking down that way and Liv Morgan was just walking as well. But the fact that Finn Balor told Dominik to go a certain way, and Liv Morgan was just there already posed and just waiting as if she was just waiting on somebody to pop up, Dominik Mysterio. And not only that, after Liv Morgan leaves, Dominik was going to go into the way of Liv Morgan, but Finn told him to go the other way while Finn chose to go the way of Liv Morgan. Why is that? Because Finn Balor, again, I believe, not saying it's literally what's going to happen, that's why I believe Finn Balor is the one that's going to turn on Rhea Ripley in the Judgment Day and not Dominik Mysterio. And another thing, and before I get to here, let me just catch up to these comments because 14 comments, I did not expect this many people to be here. I expected this to be a small podcast and everything, so I do appreciate every single one of y'all that has been here. Let's see if I can catch up with these. All right, we were here, Dino Nuggies. Also, the pictures that Liv sent Dom. Yeah, and this is why I'm glad I went back to the comments because Jody just reminded me of something. Not only the pictures. Where is it? I think that one downloaded, right? It had to have downloaded, right? Come on, don't do me dirty. Y'all remember this? Thank you, Jody. I'm gonna take a sip break while y'all look at this real quick. Y'all remember this, right? Finn Balor was the last one to take that hotel key. Finn Balor was the last one to have access to Liv Morgan. Appreciate you, Jody. Appreciate you on that. Let's not forget that moment too. Let's not forget that moment. Where are we? Where are we? Also, the pictures. What happened? What happened is the plan for Dominik, bro. They trying to turn Liv into a. All right, let's relax, right? He showed the whole group to pick. And to be honest, y'all remember what if Dominik and Finn turn because the Judgment Day does always say we have no leaders in the group, but it always seems like Rhea and Damian always giving orders. Like I said, another video. Y'all want it? Drop it in the comments when this live stream is done. Drop those requests in the comments below. I'm telling y'all, I would do videos for every single situation y'all want me to do. Liv Morgan playing 2012 AJ Lee. Also think of Liv. Also did help Finn and JD get the tag titles. That's what I was speaking of. Did you see 3 weeks ago Dom and Liv came out the same room? That's what I was speaking of. The hotel room that Finn took. Okay, we're all caught up. As I said, the hotel key and everything. Shout outs to Jody for reminding me. Now, let me just see screenshot wise if I'm up to date. Yep. Okay, that's where I was. Now, guys, me personally, ever since Triple H took over, he started doing that little when there's a backstage segment, pay attention to the backstage because you never know what you see. Bray Wyatt's puppets, the Wyatt Six stuff, Chad Gable talking to the freaking Creed brothers, Sonya and Sonya talking to Tony Stark. I mean, Zoe Stark, so on and so forth. So I'm a person that when there's any single type of backstage segment, I pay attention. So I don't know if y'all seen this, but I'm gonna show you because I saw this during the segment where Damian Priest told Dominik that you need to show Jey Uso, I think, that Rhea belongs to you. And we get to the backstage segment of the Judgment Day, clubhouse, where, Dominik says that basically Rhea Ripley belongs to him. And in the background, Carlito and Finn Balor, We're playing WWE 2K. And the match that was being played was Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. And here's as close as proof as I could find who was playing who. Because here is Carlito not paying attention. He obviously has a controller in his hand, but he is not paying attention. So if you can see, Rhea Ripley then gets thrown into the corner because, of course, Carlito's not paying attention because Dominik basically said that Rhea Ripley belongs to him. So in that switch moment, whoever was on the other side playing as Liv Morgan took advantage. And that person was not JD McDonough because he turned around while the game's still playing and he has no controller in his hand. But who's that in the background grinning like that after Dominik says that? It is Finn Balor. Now let me get back to this. This is Carlito. 100% proof he's playing the game. 100% proof right here that Finn Balor's playing the game. Proof that with Carlito being distracted, he gets thrown into the turnbuckle, and the only other person to play as the other person, which was Liv Morgan, is Finn Balor. Y'all telling me that's not nothing? Finn Balor playing WWE 2K in a match against Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley where he's controlling Liv Morgan? And of course Carlito's controlling Rhea Ripley because he's trying to show that he belongs in the Judgment Day because, again, Rhea Ripley's like, what the hell is Carlito doing in the clubhouse? So of course he wants to play as Rhea Ripley so he can, be on her side. It makes more sense, you guys. Let's see. Yo, I didn't notice that. You see, I'm not here to say that I'm the only person who thinks that Finn Balor is turning on Rhea Ripley. I'm just here to show you guys why I think, and maybe I can show y'all something different. Like the picture I just showed you. Carlito's controlling Rhea Ripley. My only reasoning for thinking he is due to the fact that when he turns around and he is no longer paying attention, the other person who is controlling Liv Morgan can now throw Rhea Ripley into the turnbuckle. And if that is the case, the only other person on the other side of the controller is Finn Balor, because here we see JD have nothing in his hands and both of his hands are visible, one holding the title and one holding his face. So again, those are my reasonings behind that. But there's more. There's a lot more. Because guess what? This is a SMAR, elemental P, whatever that shit's called type shit. Because now we're going to go back here. Because as I told you guys, Finn Balor, Liv Morgan, the Judgment Day. Who was on the Judgment Day? Now let me stop. But now, Finn Balor, Liv Morgan against the Judgment Day. Who was originally on the Judgment Day? Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest. And this goes as far back as, if I'm not mistaken, Finn Balor being the one who defeated Damian Priest, because then I'm sure it was Austin Theory who then defeated Finn Balor. So they way before this they've had interactions. But this is honestly my reasoning of why. So scrap out the United States Championship match and that Finn beat Damian Priest. That is history, but that's not this history of this reasoning of why this rivalry is the way it is. Because Finn beat Damian, but But again, Finn Balor, one side, Damian Priest, one side. But we can't forget about so many situations, y'all. And the faces that Finn just makes at Damian, bro. All the faces. All of them. Just look at all these faces. Just look at them. Just look at all these faces. And then don't forget that Damian Priest is the same man that did this to Finn Balor. And I think T-Rel's in here, and I think T-Rel's the one that reminded me about this situation, so shout out to T-Rel. But yes, Damian Priest is the same man that has done this. But not only that, Damian Priest is also the man who never gave JD a break in the Judgment Day. And that's Finn Balor's boy. That's his brother. That's his best friend. And this is how Damian Priest used to have JD McDonough. So again, that's my reasoning of why I really feel that deep down, yes, we're getting this. We're seeing this live in our face. We're seeing Dominik and Liv. We're seeing that there's a possibility that Dominik does give in and does want Liv and does turn on Rhea. And this is the reason why Rhea doesn't retain at SummerSlam. But I have also showed you guys so many clues that if you really, really look deep into it, if you really, really look deep into it, Finn Balor could possibly be the one who turns on Rhea Ripley and, in fact, turns on the entire Judgment Day. I could be wrong, but I could also be right. Because at the end of the day, this happened because Liv Morgan and Finn Balor were here to begin with. Always remember that. Now, again, I don't know if I'm correct, but that's what fantasy booking is. That's what prediction is. That's why I love the world of wrestling itself. So, guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell so you be notified. The Juiced Up Jobbers go live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I have a group. It is not just me, myself, and I. It is also Eli. It is also Shush. It is also Chris. And we do this every Sunday. But if there is also any other things that you would like us to fantasy book, anything else that you would like to hear our predictions of, please drop it in the comments once this live is over. Drop it in our TikToks. Go follow us on the Juiced Up Jobbers on TikTok. But before we go, I just want to appreciate every single one of y'all. I see the views dropping now because obviously we're at the end. I spoke on the reason of why we're here, but again, guys, I appreciate you guys, all of y'all. Yes, ASMR. But again, guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and if you guys enjoyed this fantasy booking type prediction situation, after this live is done, go to the YouTube again, go under the comments of this video, and go leave any type of situation y'all want us to fantasy book or predict. SummerSlam's around the corner. A lot of people were talking about Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk. If that's something you guys want me to talk about and give you my fantasy booking on what I think should happen, drop it in the comments. I love y'all. I appreciate every single one of y'all that came out here. I just want to give y'all a yeet and tell mommy I said, ah. Appreciate y'all, man.